Number 12, it says to simplify. So the big thing on here is that if you'll notice in the first term here, the exponent of 2 is on the outside of the parentheses, and here there are no parentheses. So if I were to write this kind of an expanded form, this first term, this 4x, that whole quantity raised to the second power, I could rewrite that. What that really means is 4x times 4x, because you're multiplying 4x by itself 2 times. And then you're subtracting 4x to the third power. So in this term, the only thing you're multiplying to the, or raising to the third power is the x. So this is really the same thing as 4 times x times x times x. So this I could also rewrite a little bit different. If you remember, all we're really doing is we're multiplying 4 numbers together. I could get rid of the parentheses. This is the same thing as 4 times x times 4 times x. And then I'm still subtracting 4 times x to the third power. And now using the commutative property of multiplication, which means you can multiply numbers in any order, I could switch the 4 and the x. And I could rewrite this again as 4 times x times x. And then I'm subtracting from that 4 times x to the third power. Then over here I can do a little more simplifying. I can multiply the 4 times the 4, which gives me 16. And I can multiply the x times the x, which gives me x to the second power. And if you remember, the reason that we get x to the second power is because the exponent of this is a 1 and the exponent of that other x is a 1. So when you're multiplying those, they have the same base of x. And when you're multiplying x times x, you add the exponents, and that's how we get x to the second power. And then we're subtracting from that 4 times x to the third power. Now, this is our final answer. So I can see up here, my answer is going to be C. But a common thing that people might want to do is they might think, so this is my final answer, but some people might think that they can combine these two terms. So for example, they might want to take this 16 and then subtract 4 and get 12. And then this x to the second power and this x to the third power, they think they can subtract those exponents and get x to the negative 1. And you see how that is one of the choices up here, because that's a common mistake. But you cannot do that. And the reason you cannot do that is because these two terms are not like terms. So again, if I take my final answer, which is 16x squared minus 4x to the third power, and that's where you would stop. The reason that you cannot continue is because this is an x squared term and this is an x cubed term. So those are not like terms. In order to be like terms, you have to have the same variable, which we do have, but you also have to have the same exponent, which we do not have. So you would want to stop here. We do not have like terms. Don't add those, or don't subtract them, add or subtract them. So our answer then would be 16x squared minus 4x cubed, which is letter C.